Let me begin by saying I am not an adrenaline junkie, but I do enjoy a little excitement in my life. We recently invited another couple to spend a weekend camping in our RV. Our campsite was on the Tallulah River. I loved watching and listening to the water tumbling over the rocks.
When we saw several people float by our side on inner tubes, our friends thought that looked like fun, so they purchased 2 tubes. For the next 2 days, we made repeated trips down the river. It wasn't what you'd call whitewater rafting, but there were a couple of places where the river spun you around a bit.
I probably made about half a dozen trips, and no two of them were the same. I would look ahead and see a big rock. Mike or one of our friends would yell, "Go to the right!" And I would try, but sometimes the current pulled me to the left of the big rock. Sometimes I got stuck on the big rock and had to use my feet to push off it. And every once in a while, I actually managed to go around the right side of it.
Proverbs 16:9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." Like Barb and I on the river, we often have a plan of how we think we're going to navigate life. Then those rocks appear. We desperately want to avoid them and try hard by eating healthy, putting aside money for a rainy day, or building relationships that we think will be helpful to our future. But it doesn't always go the way we plan.
We believe Psalm 103, verse 19, that says, "The Lord has established his throne in the heavens, and his sovereignty rules over all." In the river of life, God gives us some ability to maneuver and make our own choices, but his will be accomplished.
I take comfort in that. God encourages us to see what is in front of us and make plans. But when we get knocked off course due to circumstances beyond our control, know that the Lord establishes our steps. He knows I am currently stuck on top of this rock, and he will use this pause for the benefit of his kingdom. If I get knocked to the left instead and hit some whitewater, maybe even get thrown from the inner tube, God will still be with me through that too. The cold water might come as a bit of a shock, but it could be just what I need to recognize that I'm not master of my own universe.
So let's go ahead and plan our course. But if we suddenly find ourselves taking a different path, let's not panic. The Lord establishes our steps. He will see that we get where we need to go. And often, those little surprises are what makes the journey fun. They might cause us to gasp in surprise, but they also may lead to whoops of joy and fun stories around the campfire.
Thanks for floating down the river with the foxes.